Good to
2022.
see
There's
you.
not a lot of room today because the backdrop's quite busy, but you can find a spot.
Absolutely. Find
Exactly.
a spot there. Badger, are you there? Sorry, yeah, sorry. Looks like you're nodding off. We know it's the end of the year.
Might be
Maybe
sleeping.
I'm here. I'm here.
taking a little quick power nap. We know it's end of the year. We're all tired, but it
Yeah.
is.
I wish.
You can. You got the time. Go light a fire, you know. But yeah, welcome to, ladies and gents, very last Hodlnots Happy Hour Hangout for 2025. 2020 survive. Have we survived? Are we alive? Have we strived? Has the market died?
And we're still alive. We're still alive, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Live and kicking. For sure. I see Bitcoin's kicking up against resistance at the moment. But we spoke about in August, in our August 4H, we spoke about some price predictions. Do you guys remember what your price predictions were, Vicky, Wendy, Marcel, for Bitcoin around this time
I
of the year?
do. Yeah, I do.
I think mine was around 136 somewhere. If I had to guess.
Mine was 122.
I think mine was way higher.
Didn't I say like 87,000? I can't remember. No?
Right.
I'd have to check that
Of course
screenshot.
you
I put
did.
it somewhere. I can't remember what I said, but yeah, it definitely, I think it was like 132 or whatever it was. But again, ladies and gents, we know we can't control the crypto market. We can control ourselves and our emotions and our trades. And we're gonna in this 4H on our Happy Hour Hangout, we are going to be talking about 2025 and the year that's been. So that's pretty exciting. And also, reminder, there is a contest, or there will be a contest launching. We did give you guys and girls a heads up around that contest where you can actually win the Hodl Fire indicator. And that is amazing. So we're very quite excited about launching that contest. Yeah, I think it's the first time we've ever given you guys a heads up around what that contest is, and we're going to be talking about some of our favorite moments of the year. But before we do that, let's dive into this background, this backdrop that is just so busy, like Vicky said. Still looking at all the remnants of ACC, Vegas. Sure, anything stand out here, Badger, that you see that's hanging around all over the place here in the backdrop?
Mm, I see obviously all the merch stuff. I see that. Or
Absolutely.
the swag, as
Mm-hmm.
you like to call it. I see the actual, what do you call it, the supercomputer thing, quantum
Yes, well, that's
computer thing.
I was going to point that
Uh,
out, that weird looking upside down trophy, whatever it was that we did a
yeah, I
couple of
see
months
that.
ago.
I see the black
Absolutely.
bears. I see some American
Yeah. Anything for you,
stuff.
Wendy, that you see that stands out?
My eggnog and my
All about
cookies.
the eggnog.
I
It's all
actually
about the
the
food.
chocolate that we gave away. We gave away a lot of chocolate at that convention.
We did.
And they were really good.
Well, that what wasn't
And
eaten by Vicky, sure.
If we could have
and we have
given,
black
yeah.
bears. My black bears up there. Those kind of stand out. The bears.
Absolutely. Very cool. Nicely done, Vicky. So, yeah, if anybody else wants to comment on any of the other great elements that can be found here in the backdrop, yeah, we see a lot of swag and some of the other topics that we've covered as well. I'm just trying to figure out that silver tree tea just in front of Badger and Marcelo.
Oh, yeah, there's two more of silver somethings around.
Oh, is it one of those? Oh, I see the other one and the other one. Ah, yes. And it's not EFT, right? Okay.
It's not EFT, no.
All right. So yeah,
Hmm.
definitely part of our themes and stuff. So ladies and gents, yeah, we're looking forward to just doing some recap and some great effort again has gone into this backdrop by Vicky. So shout out Vicky for all the creativeness for 2025 and obviously everything else. But yeah, we're going to be talking about what the year has entailed. We're also going to be looking forward as well as to what to expect going forward for not only 4H but Hodlnots as well going into 2026. Now, part of one of the contests that we had running or that we announced earlier this week, or Monday at least, was yeah, these two contests, and one of them is favorite moment, favorite Hodlnots moment for 2025. That's going to put you in the running to win one of those prizes. Simple as anything. There have been a lot, and we will be talking shortly a bit more about some of those, as well as then the 2026. Looking for kind of like a tagline or slogan. We used the word five. We had survive and strive and alive and all of those great words. So what is 2026 gonna be about? We're looking forward to seeing some of your entries. So please, ladies and gents, do make use of that Q&A section down below. We can start hearing from all of you as to what to expect. But before we do that, quick surprise question for my co-hosts.
Oh, this is always fun.
Wait, I've got a few more of them. So, 2025, if you were to summarize 2025 in one word, okay, one word. Okay, first thing that comes to mind, Wendy.
Slow. The market has been slow.
It's
I'm
slow. All
sorry.
right, slow. Very good.
Slow.
I like that. Vicky.
Exhausting.
We're still alive. We're still there. We're still surviving. Badger.
Uh, I was gonna say the same as Wendy, but I think
Hmm.
it was just a little bit. I had high hopes for the year, crypto-wise and
Mm.
other stuff. It was
Hmm.
just a little bit meh. I don't know. It was just flat. It was a flat,
That's a good
Meh.
word,
flat
actually.
year.
Meh.
Meh.
Meh. Yes.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's a good.
hopefully, whatever should have happened this year will
Mm.
happen next year.
Absolutely. Things happen for those reasons. And I coined a phrase, I didn't coin the phrase per se, but I started using it in the den about 2 years ago when the market was kind of sideways and flat. And the word meh is just this, exhalation of like, it's kind of like a sigh, right? So some people
Yeah.
spell it MEH, right? So when you talk about sideways markets, you talk about a meh it. I make it.
Hmm.
As in, all right. So that's kind of I think that's a good
Yeah.
word for that, Badger. Definitely be an
Hmm.
emotional year, a bit of a roller coaster year. I mean, Bitcoin has been teasing us, hitting an all-time high, and then again, decimating all the gains that it made in 2025, and kind of going back down again. So it has been an interesting year. Slow is a good word. Exhausting, definitely. So we're looking forward to hearing some of the highlights, actually. Let's talk less about the lowlights, more the highlights.
No, they're all low lights. There were highlights.
Absolutely. And there were some medium
Hmm.
lights and meh lights as
Hmm.
well. So what we'd like you guys all to do in the meantime, so there are two contests that are running for the next, say, 40 minutes. We'd love to hear from all of you. You have been prepared. Is tell us one thing, one of the highlights from 2025, one of your Hodlnots moments or highlights, things that stood out. We'd love to hear from all of you around that, as well as then 2026. We'd like to come up with a new slogan or a new line, something that kind of rhymes with six. So there are a few of them. I'm not going to give too many clues away, and there's a prize up for grabs as well for that, just for participating. So we'd love to hear from all of you around that. But first up, let's get into some of the regular routines and regular things, besides this amazing background. And that is indeed Badger. Normally we'd ask for like the update from the last week or two as to what's been happening in that end. But yeah, because it's the last one of the year, we thought we'd do something a little different. So tell us.
Yeah. Okay, so what we did is we actually took some of the best trades from the year and we put them all together on a graphic, just to remind everyone that whatever the market's doing, scalping can be very, very profitable. So let me just share my screen here. Okay. So if we look at this, like I said, this is now for 2025. So you can see there was some 50%ers in there. There's actually more than one 50%. There was a 50, one of them was 58, so it's nearly 60%. All these were scalp trades. I didn't include any hodl fires in this update. So these are all traded in minutes, within minutes, in and out, take your profit and run. There's a 31%, 29%. So there was a multitude of trades in the 20%. Obviously, I couldn't have all of them on this graphic, but quite a few in the 30% region as well. Strangely enough, no 40% trades. So we skipped 40 and went straight to 50. Although there were people that did multiple trades, like went into a trade, got out, and then traded again. And those probably, if you add them up, it would be even more than what we're seeing here now. So I think this is just exactly what, like we've been saying all year, to those that are not in our community. This is basically some of the trades that you can do if you're in the den, do the foundational course and join our community and start scalping.
Absolutely. And also, for those of you who've been trading and sharing your trades within the den as well and using the hashtag grabbed, I think maybe even next year, with the 4-H's and stuff, I think we might start to feature a couple of these people. And who knows, right? A little name of wheel spin and that kind of thing. For those who are putting in the effort to actually share with the community, not just calling the
Yeah,
coin. So those who are posting their trades and their wins, it'd be amazing to see these as well. So shout out to every single person
yeah,
who,
thank you.
yeah, who helped make our lives, Marcel's life, a lot easier doing all of that. So yeah, that's amazing. I've got a question for the three of you. It's not one of those spontaneous trick questions, but talking about the den in the market, right? We've experienced a bit of a slow market, and Wendy was saying, but meh, and times it's just like frustrating because you're like, can't we just be in this bull run or whatever it is, right? We've learned to trade what we see, but in the last, let's call it a year, have you guys noticed any trend shifts within trading, within the den, as an example? Anything that's become more prevalent, we start to see more often? Yeah, was there any evolution within trades? Were people doing shorter trades? Were they staying in longer? Were they, grabbing and going? Were they diversifying? Were they trading more in Mexi? What are your guys' thoughts? Vicky, anything you might have noticed, perhaps?
Yeah, I think the main thing was the diversification into other exchanges and the way in which you have to trade on those exchanges, which is a lot different than Binance. So Binance is the stable, predictable coins.
Mm,
And once you jump off into Mexi, and also once a lot of people had to jump off into different exchanges with all the KYC, you have to trade quite a lot differently because of the liquidity. So I think that was the biggest shift that I saw this year about people having to go into different exchanges
mm,
by force, really, some of them, but also some of them by choice, including myself, because I was
mm,
a staunch Binance user
mm,
and I've been on Mexi for probably the last 6, 7 months, and I really enjoy Mexi, but you do have to trade differently.
mm.
So that was what I saw
Okay.
happening in Hodlnots.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen a few, say, the European countries and stuff starting to bring regulation into play, let alone, we know in the States and a lot of exchanges that our members normally had access to. And I know this is a little bit more of 2024, but we started to see a lot more of that happening where people could no longer trade Binance or Binance USDT and they had to trade USDC or trade other exchanges. So sure, any your thoughts? I mean, you spend a fair bit of time in there and obviously all your calls and stuff. What kind of changes and shifts have you seen within our scalp traders and traders in the den?
On this particular year, especially even the last 6 months, we've got old Hodlnots coming back who
Mm,
have been away
Mm.
for a while. And so we've got the new ones coming back, and I do a refresher course with them. So when they come back, if they're haven't been around for 2 or 3, 4 years, it's been a while. We trade totally different, and so they're a little bit shocked at that we're not using KuCoin and that we're not doing tap tap and we
Mm.
just don't even trade the same anymore. So Mexi is exactly what Vicky said. It's the easier platform, but it's the choice for scalp traders because they have the most coins launching on it for us. But it is a issue with the liquidity. So you can't just jump on there like you can on main coins on other exchanges. But the challenge has been people really messing up their trading styles. So it's when they finally get the fact that huddle fire trading is different from scalp trading, it's like a whole new ball game. Their eyes open up and they're going, oh, okay, so it's grab and go, or If you want to hold on to it longer, jump on a hodl fire trade. Um, that's the big thing that I'm seeing most people is they're having to choose between being a full-time scalper and whether they really want more life and they don't want to be on the screen so much. They move over to hodl fire, which is making the hodl fire a lot more popular. That's the main thing that I see.
Okay. All right, definitely. I mean, we know that the market's been a little bit more volatile, and that's what we love. We're scalp traders, but maybe more grab and go. But Marcel, I mean, you've seen it mostly because you do all these pretty much weekly and grabbed summaries and these
Yeah,
updates for us and stuff. You must have noticed some trends over times.
I would say from my side, definitely people have been trading shorter. Like literally in the past, we would stay in for 5 or 6 candles. Now it's just like take 1, 2 candles and go, bank your profit. And the other thing that I've seen this year changed a lot is people trading perpetuals and doing shorts on them.
Mm.
Where we never used to short the market, but we scalping on 1x leverage, and we
Mm.
and that basically gives us the opportunity to short to scalp down.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Wendy, you cover occasionally you've been covering that in your large sessions and stuff, and yeah, we never used to touch the perpetual side of things or messy futures and that kind of thing. And have you found people adapting their trading styles? Traditionally always were trading up. Have you found people always keen on doing shorts, or has it been a little bit of trepidation? What's the kind of mind space that you've kind of encountered with those sessions?
That's a really great question, John. Most of the people that I've been talking to really don't want to do shorts. They find that most of the money is made in the front of the market. I mean, the front of the mountain going up, and they're still looking for those. It seems to be that they're a little bit apprehensive to short the market. And that comes with a lot of people new off the course. They're not quite ready. So they're excited to learn it in the future, but some of them have actually been putting it off just for that reason that they want to take it slow and easy. They want to do the 3M course and they're really focusing on mastering scalp trading. And once they get that, then they're going to just pounce into the shorting. But most of them really don't, uh, just a handful of them really will short the market. It just takes practice like anything else. And I think some of them are a little bit apprehensive.
Absolutely, but like with any new skill, ladies and gents, it just takes a bit of practice really to get into that as well. Now, speaking about practice, I mean, 2025 has been a year of practice of patience and a few other things of learning new skills.
Mm.
Some people, like you were saying, Wendy, some people not wanting to learn how to short, some people are learning a little and having some success with the Mexi Perpetuals or Futures platform on that side of things, but also with the HODL Fire, like you said. Some people don't necessarily have the time or inclination to scalp trade. It's a little bit
Mm.
frenetic, and they have turned over to that. And then of course, Vicky, the one of the highlights of the year as well was the HODL Fire course. So we found that other people prefer to HODL Fire, and again, if you can scalp trade going up, if you can short and also HODL Fire, I mean, I think that's a trifecta really within
Mm.
Hodlnots to be able to do really well in any kind of market. But yeah, we're going to start talking shortly about some of the other highlights and some of the other topics as well. I know we've got a list here somewhere, but I think Vicky Marcel, if you wouldn't mind, just let's start off at the top. And then to quickly just have a quick 1 minute summary, really, of each of those topics for each of the previous Hodlnots Happy Hour Hangout episodes. And then I'm going to do a quick reminder. I'm going to post it in the chat as well. For those of you joining a little late, we are running two contests. Well, we've got a third one as well, and we can talk about that in between all the different episode highlights. But the two contests running, we've had a couple of entries already, some great ones. Two things. Favorite Hodlnots moment of 2025. There'll be a prize for that within this call, as well as 2025. We said 2020 thrive, survive, alive, that kind of moniker, or nickname for it, really. 2026. What are we going to call 2026? All right. We'll do it at the end. So you guys, Marcel and Wendy, you guys will have enough time to think
Hmm.
about something we can think of for 2026. Um, I've got one already, and I've kind of mentioned it before, and I mentioned on a call with somebody else the other day. But let's see what you guys have to say. But for those of you who are watching right now live, we'd like to hear from you. 2026. What is the tagline slogan for 2026? There's a prize for that as well. Drop it in the Q&A section down below. All right, let's start having a look at a little bit of a recap as demonstrated visually as well in the background that Vicky has done. Marcel, that first one on the list, you want to quickly remind us what will happen in that episode, that first 4H for the year?
Back in January. I think that was the Trump one, celebrating
Mm,
Trump and hopefully the positives that come from that for in terms of crypto.
okay,
It
absolutely.
was, and
Mm.
behind you is tiny little Liberty with a little Trump hair on her at the moment. You can barely
Okay.
see
Cute.
it.
There it is, over Badger's right shoulder there. And yeah, it was quite, I wouldn't say hectic, but ahead of the elections in November, so November the 5th, I think it was last year, we saw this massive rally within crypto and cryptocurrency with presidents globally, is still something fairly new, but we saw this quite heavy pro-crypto stance from President-elect Trump at the time. And since taking office, we've seen quite a shift, not just globally, but obviously within the US as well. Wendy, you being American, and I'm sure that you can attest having family there and the general US
Hmm.
or American mindset around things. Do you think we started off on a good note there in January of this year?
Yes, we did. I think we've made a lot of changes in, Trump and his administration. There has been some slowness on getting things done that we would like to have seen earlier, but for the kickoff start, I'm sure it's a massive job, with all the stuff that had to be fixed. And he walked into a mess. So keeping that in mind, he did a good review today. I don't know if anybody ever was able to watch it, but it was in our afternoon time, on a recap of what's going on. And so I think this next year going into 2026 is going to be really very interesting in the next 6 months. So I'm excited about what's happening. It's much better than what it would have been in a different setting and a different president.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, crypto czar to, whole focus really on crypto regulations and policy, not
Mm,
just in the US,
exactly.
but globally, kind of getting that ball rolling, right? And
Mm,
in the crypto news with the weekly warm-ups that Vicky and I do, we more often than not, there's at least one story around crypto regulations being implemented in certain countries or adoption, or even speak of a CBDC or even a governmental or national stablecoin. And that kind of started
right.
to, yeah, that tied in with episode 43 back in February when we started talking about stablecoins more and more. And since then, stablecoins have pretty much been the 2025 crypto word of the year, I think. There's been so much talk around it, everything from obviously Tether all the way down to USD1, and a couple of others. And this concept of yeah, how the capitalization of stablecoins has really grown. We've always just seen it as, oh, these are the coins that we trade with, right? These are the pairs, USDT being the most prevalent, but it's become such a talking point from our level all the way up to like government national levels as well. So that was really interesting. And one of the other things was in February was the self-paced course of the Hodlnots foundational course. That
Mm.
live course that's been popular for years, and now having then a couple of months of hard work of building that course. Yeah, Vicky, we announced the self-paced course back in Feb, and yeah, how's that been since then?
Yeah, 10 Feb was actually the launch, so
Oh
that
wow.
was a lifetime ago. But yeah, since then we've had lots of people do the self-paced course and really enjoy it. And a lot of older, no, well-seasoned
Seasoned.
Hodlnots have come
Mm.
back, have come back to do the course, and they're actually amazed, especially if they've done the course before 2023, how much it's changed, as we said. So we teach differently. We use different indicators. We look at the market differently. It's all about time frames now, obviously, because I'm there all the
That's the
time.
answer for everything.
But it's the answer for everything. T-shirt. So the self-paced course has been a big hit, and of course, it's not just a video course. A lot of video courses out there, and I'm going to pat ourselves on the back a bit here, but a lot of video courses you buy, you do the video course, you see you later. But we had to incorporate a live component into our course, and I think that's actually what makes it so special. We do love the live course, and we are going to continue, but if you can't do the live course, our self-pace is definitely the second best after the live course. So I think a lot of people are loving it and really learning a lot, especially like I said, seasoned Hodlnots coming back and going, oh gosh, either I forgot about those certain things or it's reminded me or I understand it a lot better than I did originally. So I'm really quite proud of Hodlnots for launching that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And the next topic is kind of that little trifecta up above Wendy's hat there. Is that one of our now black bears was an old Hodlnot from 2021, I think, and came back and did the self-paced course. And don't know if it was just the right time, right place for him. And so many of those concepts just sunk in, having done the course the second time around in a different version. And it's kind of a bit of a thread, I think, Vix, that we've seen is that we've had certified Hodlnots who've done either one of the two foundational courses, the live or the self-paced, and then they've done the Hodlfire, right? And then more light bulbs have come on. So there seems to be a bit of a thread there. But to your point, there have been a lot of people and seasoned Hodlnots and people who haven't trained before or haven't learned how to trade. And they've come and done this. And we can't believe we're going on 11 months with that, or 10 months. I can't do the math. But they're away, like you said, a lifetime ago. And as I said, black bears, Wendy, that's been there's been an increase in a number of black bears, and I think there are one or two people on. We actually a lot of Hodlnots on the call, but there are a couple of other people on the call who don't know what a black bear is. So what does it mean to really become a black bear? And because we've celebrated quite a few this year as well.
Absolutely. The black bears are those people who have successfully completed and traded their way up from the 3M apprenticeship challenge. So we ask people to do that. It usually takes a massive amount of trading and about 6 months' time, if not longer. Some people do it a little bit shorter if they're intentional, but a good 6 months is about right for completing that challenge. And it's not an easy challenge. So they get into a Telegram channel where we trade for a living. And these are people who are trading up and wanted to be full-time traders. So we worked with them along the way in 3M and they become a black bear. Once they're a black bear, they're considered an expert scalp trader. And then I teach them how to leverage trade. And we have black bears who are leverage trading, Hodlfire trading, and scalp trading. Most of them like the Hodlfire. Again, that is the preferred method for a lot of people so they can do life and they just ramp it up. But it's a process to be able to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing before you can ramp it up to that next expert level. But they get into a Telegram group called The Cave and they're there for life. There's no subscription to it. And we all chat in there and we tell each other what coins are running that you can put $1,000 or more on. And everybody trades a little differently. I'm still steady Eddie with the scalping. That's my preferred method. But we have a lot of fun in there. And I'd love to see a whole bunch more new black bears come through this year. So we get more help in there to make some money. But they're
Absolutely.
doing a pretty good job on some of the coins that are in there now.
Absolutely, for sure. How many, Marcel? I mean, do we have a couple of people close through getting up to that next black player level, or what are
Yeah,
we
there's
looking
definitely there's always some knocking on the door.
at?
Um, like Wendy said, some are going at a very high pace, and some
Mhm.
deliberately try to slow it down. But there there's
Well,
there's a good three knocking on the door. Last time I checked.
And the biggest problem with the bears right now is the market's not moving enough, and they have to trade a certain amount of money. And so
Yeah.
when you don't have the coins running right now where you can place that amount of money on, there I'm very proud of the people that are actually on purple and red because they are very patient. They're waiting for those trades and they're not risking losing just to grab a quick trade to get in the cave.
Mm.
They're actually waiting on some of these bigger trades.
Absolutely. Let the coins come to you. And like Marcel's always said, money's in the alerts, saying the right alert, letting them come to you,
Yep.
especially if you have to trade with a certain
Yes.
position. All right, moving on, and just want to quickly touch on some of the entries so far. There's some great entries. Just be right, yeah. Thank you. I see someone's corrected their entry. If you are going to post in the Q&A, please make sure you're not posting as an anonymous attendee. Mr. Fernando, I do see you. I see the correction. That's great. Thank you for the entry. Remember, just a quick reminder, highlights of 2025, and we're looking for something that kind of rhymes with 2026. What is the year going to be of? I think 22 leak your ice cream. That's an interesting one. We're looking for one to kind of run. I quite like the one entry there, but I'm not going to say it. But yeah, 2020, whatever it is, right? So something that rhymes with six or something that you kind of is your tagline. 2020, take your profit and run. I don't know. Yeah, sure. Something like that. Couple of the highlights. Yes, the Huddle Fire course. Love that. A few of those for the Huddle Fire course, actually. One of them being on the episode 45, which we'll talk about shortly, which was all to do with the tariffs and the bills and stuff like that. Absolutely. Different calls, some of the highlights as well. The sharing, good, and some more entries around some of those. Ooh, I like that one. Cool. So let's carry on with what was we were chatting about some of the topics and the themes. Back in March, we spoke about the crypto summit, and that was all to do with the US, and they had this new initial with the then crypto czar, I think it was David Sachs. Spoke about this crypto summit and all these minds and all these influences, including like the Michael Saylors and the guys trying to influence better adoption and regulatory frameworks really for crypto adoption globally and in the US. And then Easter rolled along in April. It was a fun one. Nice backdrops, of course, with all the bunnies and the Easter eggs and that kind of thing. And yeah, we spoke about tariffs, and that was a big thing that influenced the crypto space. When President Trump initially announced in January, I think it was, that tariffs would be implemented, and there were some crazy ones, including our country, South Africa, poor Lesotho, 50% tariff rates, and there was big debates. That influenced the crypto market in a big way. Um, I don't know. Was anybody anticipating? Wendy, were you anticipating to see that kind of reaction from the global markets around the tariffs, or the proposed tariffs back then?
No, I really don't think a lot of people understood what was really going on and how the tariffs are being used to, get the money in so that they could make a bunch of changes in the governmental structure. So I think it took people by surprise. A lot of the the banter and the news stuff that was going on with the tariffs back and forth, and it was almost like whose president's going to win. It became quite interesting, I think.
Absolutely. So that influenced the market quite drastically. If you go back when it was first announced in
Mm.
January, we were all anticipating that coins are going to stay front of the mountain on the day for a lot of coins, and Bitcoin had this massive, well, a bit of a retrace. Came down a bit after that. We were looking mid to end of Jan. Bitcoin dipped all the way down in all the way down to April, but we had a wick down 11th of March. We went all the way to 76 and then 74 back in April. And then we had a bit of a recovery. And when some of those tariffs started coming into play, we saw the market take a little bit of a dip. So it's been interesting times since then. And who knows, maybe 80,600 is the bottom for the moment. Well, I'm just having a look at the HODL fire. I see a lot of pivots, some bottom pivots at least. So that's pretty good. But yeah, that was interesting. It was kind of came out of the blue. A different strategy initiative, and it's brought in or saved a lot of trillions of dollars. I think it was, or billions of dollars for the US, which is good, but it really shaken up the crypto space and markets and general global markets as well. So countries having to react quite quickly. and obviously us as well as scalp traders, short-term traders as well. Luckily, we're a bit more flexible. And then we announced Las Vegas, and then episode 46. I think I was on the airplane all the way. Yeah, I was on at the airport, and I tried to join in, and we're talking about Vegas, and that was pretty huge. Bitcoin, Las Vegas for 2025. Highlights from that, Vicky and Wendy. I mean, fortunately, Badger was not available to join us, but yeah, that was great from a Bitcoin turf and a Hodlnots perspective as well, being at Vegas 2025. Thoughts, ladies?
For me, it was I don't want to use fanatical, but I will. It was the fanatical fans of Bitcoin, and there was 35,000 of them going through over the 3 days. And it was just joyous to be in an area where that many people were talking crypto. But it was also interesting to hear how fanatical people are about Bitcoin and the direction it's taking, because we don't really talk a lot about it. We're traders, so we just trade. We trade what we see. We have tried to bring in a little bit of that, obviously, with these calls and with the warm-ups, but really listening to people talk about how Bitcoin was started to be for the people and how it is being taken over by institutions and the conversations around that. And then also I guess, interlopers where, the XRP crowd would come in and talk XRP and instead of Bitcoin. And so I think it was just so fun to see all those people together in one place and, not having to answer the question, like, what do you do for a living? And I teach people how to trade crypto, and then they, wander off sideways, giving you the side eye. So that was my highlight from Vegas.
Yeah, it was a very different space. I mean, we had been at the ACC the year before, and then going to Vegas, and yeah, fanatical is a fair word. It was everything Bitcoin, right? And but it was really interesting, quite eye-opening as well. Wendy, your thoughts on Vegas?
Yeah, it was interesting to see that people, when the crypto market is up and everybody's happy, nobody really wanted to learn how to trade Bitcoin because they were just grabbing Bitcoin and holding on. But then when they found out that Bitcoin, if they didn't get out, they were at a dollar value loss, they had to rethink training and education. So it was it was a mix of people there because we were like in a mixed market, different from Sydney the year before, where people were just happy when Bitcoin was way, way, way up. And then to this conference that we just did, it was very, very different. Being in the USA with people and all of the hype that Trump led on about the new Bitcoin reserve, and everybody was intrigued to find out more about cryptocurrency. So there was, yeah, just a massive amount of people there, and it was just an incredible experience. I was excited. The highlight for me was meeting the team. Haven't been able to actually physically see everybody and meet everybody on a one-on-one basis and seeing how people look different than on their Zoom. That was a lot of fun. The team building events were quite nice, but the crypto conference itself was big.
Yeah, it was big. There was a lot more mining going on than we anticipated, but it was very much Bitcoin
Yes.
centric and some good energy, some big faces and names. We had the Vice President as well of the US come to talk as well. So that was really, really interesting. And then yeah, since then, I mean, Bitcoin was doing okay back then. If we look in May, Bitcoin was on a nice rise, going
Mhm.
into yeah, and then just after the conference, it decided to come down a little to
Yeah.
100,000, 98, and then it took off. And then yeah, started testing over the next couple of months, hit all-time highs, 123, 124, 126. So yeah, that was pretty big. And then yeah, moving on from that, and while that's happening, I see more entries are coming in, guys and girls. Keep those coming in; those are fantastic. And then we had a really interesting article around, or a discussion Vicky put together of the Fear and Greed Index, and something that we talk about every Monday as well, and what all that means. And then I think one of the contest entrants was talking about all of the crypto or the blockchain acts that were ACTS that were put forward to Congress, or at least the Senate and stuff, regarding crypto. One was the Clarity Act, the anti-CBDC, so not wanting a central bank digital currency, and then the Genius Act, which I think was most interesting out of all of them. Have we seen any further implementation and discussion around these acts that you guys have seen since July?
No, just a lot more stable coins coming out. But go ahead,
Yeah,
Vicky.
I was
You would
just
probably know
yeah, no,
more.
that's actually what I was going to say. So one of those acts was about stable coins, and obviously
Hmm.
they have to now adhere to those acts if they're in the States and probably really worldwide. So yeah, that definitely has talked about. I haven't really heard a lot about the anti-CBDC, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, so yeah, stable coins and then regulation as well. I mean, other countries are looking at adopting their own stable coins, like we've seen the yen. We're looking at, I think Pakistan was looking to implement, and a few, even Kazakhstan, I think they were looking to do their own stable coin. So very much the buzzword, like I said, are 2025 going into 2026 as well. And I think we're going to continue to see development and regulations and information around stable coin usage and implementation going forward. And then yeah, good old August. And that's where we started talking about the $1 million Bitcoin. Would it go there at some point? And we had a nice debate around that. And yeah, let's have a quick look at. We did say we were going to run a contest, and we said we're going to see what people were saying. I'm not going to mention names, um, because I would only mention name if somebody got really close. Somebody said 135, besides the four of us, what we were talking about. Some is very close, 136,000 based on technical analysis, and some institutional adoption that will continue. And we did see a lot of institutional adoption. Strategy has not stopped. We saw 135,700, and that was from somebody else. So those three very close to each other. We saw 180,000. I see you. You're on the call. Listen, I mean, it's nobody's fault that the market didn't, we don't have an extra one in front of the current price. Imagine we were 187,000 and then a Canadian friend would be
Exactly.
very close. Um, South African saying 120. Who else? And we had a couple of 117, also quite close. That's one of our other Frenchies. Who else? And then yeah, we had a few others in between, but nobody unfortunately won that prize. So we don't have anybody to give that to. We can't say, oh yeah, you're a good 60,000 out, but you're the closest to it. So we're not going to be doing that, unfortunately. I'm almost tempted to say, shall we predict? I don't know. I mean, is it too early to ask? Is it too soon? What do you guys think Bitcoin's price is going to be in March of 2026? Anybody want to take a fun stab? Anyone? 2026 in March. Anyone?
I'm still going to say what I said of this year, 126.
126. All right. So 126. We'll put that in chat and we'll keep a record of this. Badger, what are your thoughts? Zero?
Oh,
Zero.
obviously, whatever I say is not going to happen. So
Okay, so
I
say
I
zero.
predict it's going way down. So
Hmm.
hopefully it does
Thanks,
the opposite.
Marcel. We appreciate that.
Wow. We're starting off the year with them. Okay, that's gonna be the lowest point in March. What's the price, Badger? So we know to buy in.
March.
Let's say 77.
Okay. All right. 77.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if the big
Okay.
crash happens, if after the top hits, if it's in March, then it should be going
But
low.
then
That's
but then by July it's going to be 154.
oh,
Okay. All right.
154.
Just in time for the following. All right. All right. All right. Writing this down. Fantastic. Also, we got this recorded. Wendy still 126. Vicky?
This is a tough one because global economy at the moment, there's so many whispers around what's going to happen next year. I think it's only 3 months away. What part of March, John? Beginning or end of March?
Mid-March. Let's hedge a
Mid-March.
bit.
So
Mid-March. 15.
I think it's
Is
probably
a
going to be
couple
around
weeks
one.
gonna matter?
It did on the 10th of October, didn't it? So I
Yeah.
think one's 19.
Sure. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. Close to Wendy.
Are you sure?
No, I
You
don't.
you
I
were
see it and trade it.
hesitating on
I
119.
I see it and trade it, so I'm actually not even caring about this conversation.
Exactly.
You're so rude. We're trying to have like an amicable conversation here around things. All right.
But you also have to remember that July 4th is a
That's
big
why I
day in
said.
America. And that's why you said 154. That's
Hmm.
exactly right, Marcel. So everybody keep in mind it's the 250th anniversary of the
That's
United
true.
States. So
There's a
it's
whole
and
movement around that. We saw it at the Bitcoin conference. That's
so
true.
I'm sure Trump's going to want to have a nice showing of everything there.
Maybe it's gonna reach 250 by July.
Maybe. I like those numbers. Yeah, I like those numbers. I think, hmm, let's see. We're about 3 months away. I'm anticipating a little bit of that, a little bit of that. Where are we? That's August. That's too far away. Hmm. My guess, I think we're going to be sitting at 140. That's my guess. Okay.
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 140 by March. I'm optimistic. I believe budget because he said 77,000. It's not going to go to that and not 55 or anything lower. All right, that's it. We were talking about in that 4H, we were talking about those things. So that was interesting. I don't know, are we still in agreement? We think that one day Bitcoin is going to hit the $1 million plus per Bitcoin?
Hmm.
Yes, no? Simple
That's a
question.
long way away.
Yes or no? I think at some point in the next 10 years, yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, in the
Next 10
next
years,
10
yes.
years.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. Cool, fantastic. So we'll still be around, we hope. All right, then let's get into episode 50. That was a milestone, definitely for the 4H. We've been doing this for quite some time, ladies and gents, and that was quite big. And that's where that weird robotic arm upside down trophy thing above me. Marcel did a really great thing on quantum computing and whether or not that's going to aid the regenesis really of Bitcoin and those lost Bitcoins. But then the top 10 blockchains was an interesting topic as well. Solana at that point was topping it. Meme coins were still very much the buzzwords, and we've seen a little bit of a retrace on the meme coin scene. But yeah, some good developments, good competition because there was Bitcoin and then Ethereum chain. We've seen Base come out on the Ethereum chain. We've seen a few others as well. So that's been really interesting in terms of blockchain technology. And then, of course, we spoke about what was up ahead for the rest of the year, and that included the ACC. We announced the team going up as well. But then, episode 51, we're talking about risk and managing risk as well. So, quick question for all of you out there. Do you guys manage your risk? Do you stop losses? Do you have 2FA on your computers, on your phones, and any device that you're using? Do you have your seed phrases and all your keys backed up on paper? Because I think, Marcel, that was one of the highlights out of that, the key
Yeah.
takeaways in terms of the pros and cons around your security was keeping your wallets or your seed phrases and all that on paper, right?
Yeah. Or engraved in steel or something that can't burn in your safe.
Sure. I think we've all run out and done that. Sure. Um, so hopefully all of you guys are practicing good security risk management as well. Ladies and gents, we've heard too many stories, especially on the Hodlnots weekly warm-up, of people being scammed. You've heard about the Zoom scamming and the phishing that's been going on, people having access. Remember, if it's somebody you don't know, and unfortunately, we always know somebody who's unfortunately fallen victim to this, and these people get sneaky, right? And if it's somebody you don't know, or even if it's somebody you're like, oh, I know you on Telegram, and they're like, oh, let's do this, whatever. Always be very careful, please, ladies and gents. Not your keys, not your crypto, right? That is super important. Diversify, spread your funds on different exchanges. Make sure that you look after your seed phrases. Never, ever, ever. Even if I ask for it or Wendy asks for it, never give your seed phrase away. You do
Mhm.
not want to. Yep, definitely. Even if you say, no, here it is, and just help me manage my wallet and whatever. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna. Don't. All right, ladies and gents, look after yourself. And then, of course, we spoke about and touched on it a little earlier, and that was the announcement of the live Hodl Fire course. And yeah, Vicky, I mean, a fair bit of work went into that, and we were talking about the self-paced course a little earlier. Some of the highlights from that Hodl Fire course, I think we're busy with the sixth one at the moment. What have been some of the highlights surrounding that Hodl Fire course?
What actually was worrying me, because you know how I never worry, was seasoned Hodlnots coming back doing the course that know how to scalp, because there is a lot of information that we relay in the Hodlfly course that is also in the foundational course. And I was a little bit worried going, but really the joy and the excitement was seeing the people that have done both courses now saying, oh, that was really good. It's actually made me a better scalper as well. I understand this better. Oh yes, I forgot about, it's just, so really there was nothing to worry about. And I think seeing older Hodlnot, seasoned Hodlnots come back, even if they know the information, really enjoy it, and especially the time frames. And as we know, the Hodlfire time frames are very simplified from the normal the time frames. But even saying that, I think people really enjoy it. So I think that was my highlight of that course.
Absolutely. And I
How
think
about you, John?
yeah, my highlight actually for 2025 has been, I mean, there's been so many, right? But the Hodlfire course, I think, having built and having taught this for a while, having got to really grips with it over the last year and a half at least. And we're doing the free Hodlfire calls, itching to teach. We're all passionate teachers. We all love teaching and sharing the information, but there were some Hodlnots on the calls and there were some non-Hodlnots, and wanting to teach certain concepts like front of the mountain and resistance and alerts and all of these things. And we're like, hey, we've got to do a course. We want to be able to get people really diving into this and utilizing it. So it's been such a treat seeing some of the seasoned Hodlnots return and join the Hodlfire course. Do all those live calls after the course as well with the graduate calls, and really get into like the nitty-gritty of it, and seeing some great trades, seeing these coins set up, break those resistance points and run. So that's been pretty amazing. So yeah, that's been great. And then the ACC, Wendy, this year's ACC, the Australian Crypto Convention, different from last year, would you say? Better? What do you
No,
think?
totally, totally. I'm going to say better. Both of them were really good. But this one, we had a lot of interest in people really wanting to get educated. They saw their cryptocurrency from the year before when they were flying high and didn't need to know what was going on to, oh, wow, if I would have only known to get out. So a lot of interest in the Hodl indicator. Lots of good talks with people, really nice people. Australians are waking up. So I really, really enjoyed it this year because there was a lot of interest in learning to be educated.
Mhm.
And that was nice.
Absolutely. The world is waking up, ladies and gents. The world is waking up to crypto adoption. We're seeing evolution of everything from crypto ATMs to regulatory frameworks, national adoption. We've spoken about it a couple of times how South American countries are using stable coins instead of their own crumbling local national currencies. Speaking about, in Venezuela, more recent topic. So it is an
Mm.
interesting time, ladies and gents, to be alive. It's an interesting time to be in the crypto space. I was chatting to somebody yesterday, and we were talking about this and how, 2013 kind of, crypto became a little bit more, like it was still niche. And in the last 13 years or 12 years or so, it's really started to grow. But we're still early. We're still the early, I wouldn't say we're not the pioneers for sure, but we're definitely the front runners really in adoption. And we're going to see how in the next 10 years, and for the future, how crypto really changes people's lives, really, honestly. And I think the more we educate ourselves, the more we participate, the more we learn, the more we share as well, the more we realize how people are starting to really adopt crypto as part of the vernacular and part of their lifestyles as well. So that's it. 2025 had some interesting highlights and some interesting lowlights. There were some interesting words, choice words, for 2025 to summarize. And 2026, are we looking forward to 2026, co-hosts? Yes, no, better.
Yeah, I think so. Like I mentioned earlier, I think we had loads of expectations for 2025, which not all of them were reached.
Mm,
So from my side, I'm excited, and I hope some of those highs we're going to see in 2026.
absolutely.
Totally.
Bitcoin highs.
I'm
Wendy?
in agreement with that. I'm really looking forward to 2026, especially the first 6 months. So
Mm,
I'm hoping it's everybody's happy. Everybody gets out of some of their long-term hold coins. Everybody sees the economy. Every happy. I'm just looking forward to happy, happy, happy. This we all need it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think we say it, everybody
Let's
says
do
at
it.
the end of every year, next year's gonna be better, right? Because we got through this year. And I think 2025 was quite rough in some ways. And I think we've been through a lot of stuff and we're looking forward to a little bit of relief and respite. But as we've also been saying, we trade what we see. So I'm a little cautious of 2026, but I'm cautiously optimistic. That's been my phrase for 2025. Cautiously optimistic. I'm going to carry that through, and then we're going to see what 2026 provides. We can only do with what we can with what we can control. So that said, a couple of highlights. I think in terms of the highlights, we mentioned some of them from those of you who attended and entered as well. Thank you very much for that. Vicky, if you wouldn't mind loading all of those names of the Wheel of Names, and we're going to pull a winner of that. We've got a month of the Hodl Fire indicator up for grabs over there. And then I was going to go through some of the entries as well for the second contest, which was words rhyming with 2026, so kind of a tagline for 2026. I've already got a favorite, but I'm not going to say which one it is. But anyway, we had 2020 quick. Yeah, maybe it's going to be a quick year. This flown by as well. I like the
Yeah.
idea of 2020 kicks as well, that kicking. 2020 upticks, that's pretty cool. 2020 mix, I think that's a really great one as well. Mixed bag of emotions and things as well. But there's also 2020 bag of tricks. Uh, quite like that. There are a couple of others. Let's see. 2020 seize your opportunities. That's quite a long one. 2020 sweet. Okay, not bad. 2020 crypto fix. I quite like that
Mm,
one. That's
that's
pretty
a good
good.
one.
Yeah, 2020. Mine is, and I did ask you guys as well to come up with some of your own, but mine was 2020 Watch the Wicks. Okay, kind of ties in with some of the material that we've done. So the Crumble, great entries as well. So Vicky, can we pull up a winner, Wheel of Names, spin it away for the 2025 Hodlnots moment, please?
Yes, the 2025 moment. I put all the names on the wheel and spun it, and Donna CN won.
What?
So I
Whoa,
know.
awesome. She is a winner.
So she is a winner, and
Congrats.
really she's a staunch supporter as well. So it's as most of the people on the call, actually, everyone's on this call that is usually here every month. So, but
Absolutely.
Donna CN won. So congratulations.
Got
All
to be
right.
in it to win
Awesome.
it, and she always
Hmm.
enters. She's always there on all the calls. So well done, Donacia.
Absolutely. All right,
Awesome.
ladies and gents, we
Well
gave you
done.
guys a heads up, be able to prepare those answers. And we had a flurry of late entries, but nice work there. And then the other, we had a couple, quite a few as well, for the 2026. We're going to load those onto the Wheel of Names, and take it away from there.
Just give me one moment. And while I'm doing the wheel of names for that, what is Marcel and Wendy's 26?
20. Oh, let me put the 20, not
Sure.
25.
20, not what? Oh, 20, not five.
20, not 25. Yeah.
Funny.
That's awesome. Wendy, any
Mine was actually watch the wicks as well, but then I changed mine to catch the wicks.
ooh,
Mm.
So I
Ah,
was
that's a good one
2026
too.
catch the wicks.
I like
So
it.
I like to catch them on the limit, the limit orders.
Mm.
And just
Okay.
because there's so many more wicks, it's like catch the wicks.
Absolutely. Nice one. Nice
That's
entry there
true.
as well. But
Yeah, I had a few, but I won't say a couple of them. But mine is 2020 lunatics.
That's good.
it's going to be a crazy year. Clearly, but that's the trend. Nice one there, Vix. All right, so we can't answer for the contest, but we've had a couple of other entries as well for that second prize. Spin that wheel.
Okay, and I'm just put everyone's names on it, and I'm spinning. And Harry won.
Harry! Nicely
Hey, way to
done.
Woohoo!
go.
Really, really cool. Well done, sir. Thank you for entering as well, and for all those who entered for both those contests. as well. And then also just a shout out as well for those of you who had to fall off. I know we're 3 minutes late, but again, to all of you as well, whether you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or any other festival at this time, remember this time of the year, it's time to relax, recharge, spend time with friends and family as well. You know, set your alerts for those coins, trade them when they come to you as well. So big shout out to all of you and to my co-hosts for a memorable 2025. Looking forward to 2026. And yeah, before we really wrap it up, Vicky, we have an announcement around 2026.
We do actually. So we are continuing these calls, but they actually will only be once a quarter now. So 4 times next year, which will be March, April, May, June, July, September, and December. So a little bit less, but more content. Yeah.
Okay. Those are going to be big sessions as well.
Making room for other things. Yep.
Absolutely, yes. Ladies and gents, watch the space. Team's going to recharge over the next 2 weeks or so, come back and have some new ideas and new stuff. The weekly warm-ups will continue, obviously, into 2026. It's the weekly warm-ups. But Joe, Marcel, Vicky, Wendy, you guys have an amazing festive season. To all of us, all of you, sorry, as well, who are joining our live calls, watching these recordings as well. We hope you have a fantastic, safe, festive season. Badger.
Yeah, same. Thank you. And from my side, also wish everyone a great festive season and be safe if you're going on holiday, and see you back next year.
Absolutely. I'll be around. I'll be hanging around trying to trade a little bit with some people because most of my family's in the other countries. But everybody, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, and there are always a coin running. So jump on if you're bored and you're practicing over the holidays. So I will be there. But thank you, John, for all that you do, and thank you for hosting. And Vicky, for all of your creative, beautiful backgrounds. So we look forward to seeing what happens in 2026.
Absolutely. Whatever phrase we use afterwards. Vicky, was there anything you wanted to wrap up with?
No, I just echo what all you said, and just thank you to our community because it is the best in the space.
Absolutely. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Absolutely, ladies and gents. Thanks for being here. That's a wrap for 2025, at least here with the 4H. We'll catch you guys next year with that, and the recording will be out as soon as we can. But until then, watch those wicks, or catch those wicks, as Wendy says. Set your stop losses, practice safe security, obviously, and set those alerts. And wake up in 2026, and who knows what it might bring. Fantastic. We'll see you guys all soon. Otherwise, for those of you joining the self-paced call, we are running a few minutes late. We'll join you right now. Until next time, bye-bye.